What's up, my crypto legends? This is absolutely crazy where we do have the stock market, SP 500 and Bitcoin decoupling. They've been insanely correlated for the last few years, and right now the stock market here, as you can see on the gray, is absolutely flying, and Bitcoin still in a very aggressive corrective move, not getting any pumpy action from the SP 500. We're going to analyze the SP 500 today, guys, because we have broke through the 618 Fibonacci from the pivot high to the pivot low here, which is the next big major resistance level, is what we're going to talk about in today's episode, because I still think that this is a big massive ABC structure that is forming here, so make sure to pay attention. Now, of course, stock market S&P 500 absolutely flying with the inflation rate going to lower levels than expected. We had a massive pump as we expected, but the Bitcoin price had a pump and a big massive drop here, as you can see. So it's actually decoupling, guys. The S&P 500 going up, Bitcoin going down. We're going to analyze the levels here for Bitcoin to see what could potentially happen in the coming days, guys. Today is a very important day as we do have the FOMC economic projection and the interest rate decision. 95% chance that it's going to be 0% hike, guys. Let's go straight into the episode. Hi there, Andy here. Welcome back to another episode of Bitcoinsensus. Let's dive in here straight into the chart. Let's just zoom out on the daily time frame, and I just want to show you the S&P 500 here in the gray and the Bitcoin price with the candlestick. Okay, this is looking at the last 2 years approximately, and there has been massive correlation, as you can see, where the stock market, okay, back in March of 2022, for example, had a massive big pump, and we can see the price of Bitcoin pumping also. We can see here where it peaked, stock market on March, April of 2022. Also Bitcoin peaking at that level, and they're both getting that aggressive correction. On the exactly same week, we can see the Bitcoin price getting a stop and a bounce, and also the S&P 500 in the gray, as you can see, getting that bounce. Very, very strong correlation with Bitcoin and the stock market with their movements, okay, for the last year, as you can see here on the chart. So we bottomed out here in June, July of 2022, getting a huge, massive bounce. As you can see, we can see the stock market, okay, and Bitcoin peaking at the same time and bottoming also at a very similar time. In this case, we did see the drop on Bitcoin because of the FTX collapse, okay. The stock market was actually pumping, but it soon recovered very, very nicely with the stock market, as you can see, with their movements peaking out here, getting a corrective move with the stock market, and also bottoming exactly on the 11th, 12th of March, both of them, okay, Bitcoin and the S&P 500, to get that huge massive rally. Now, what is going on right now? Well, we can see that the S&P 500 is having a huge massive rally, okay, and the price of Bitcoin is still pretty much stuck in this downtrend here from the $26,000-$25,000 range, okay. We can see a massive drop, and stock market S&P 500 is absolutely flying, okay. Bitcoin is pretty stuck. Now, of course, to the upside, we haven't had that correlation. Now, if the stock market starts crashing in the next 1 to 2 weeks, okay, or maybe today with the FOMC economic projection potentially. Now, of course, the correlation to the downside will be very aggressive. We have seen this before, and this is what I'm going to show you exactly, okay? We can see here the stock market getting a huge, massive run up while the price of Bitcoin was pretty stuck and going sideways. So there was no correlation with the massive pump, as you can see here with the stock market. It was going sideways, but as soon as the stock market started correcting aggressively, Bitcoin was following, guys, meaning for me that, you know, there is likely going to be more correlation if there is going to be a huge massive crash at some point, okay, or a large correction. Then of course I think Bitcoin will likely follow. So it hasn't followed to the upside, unfortunately, but if we were to get a stock market crash, okay, I think it is likely to follow, all right, with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is likely to follow with the stock market. So let's dive in here with the S&P 500. It is absolutely flying. Looking here on the 1 hourly time frame, we created this gap last weekend, as you can see, and it's still continuing to the upside. No sign of weakness. Okay, I was very much interested in actually shorting here, but we got low inflation. Interest rates are not going to go up very likely, so that is probably also going to give a little bit of bullish projection. So no signs of weakness, no breaking down of structure, no high volume on a correction. So we just need to go with the trend. We are likely going to go even higher, right? Till we see that breakdown of structure, then we can start thinking bearish here on the stock market. Remember, today is a very important day, all right? We've got that news today. We've got the FOMC economic projection. We've got the Fed interest rate decision. This is at 8 o'clock Central European time, just around about 3.5 hours from posting this video. Now, stock market still continuing to the upside. Big, massive gap. Will it be filled at some point? Well, at some point it will, in my opinion. But overall, we are trending up here. We do not want to fight the trend. What is our next big major resistance zone? I do see this as a massive ABC corrective move for the next 1 to 2 years, meaning that this has been an impulsive move down, okay, with the A structure. This is a B structure, in my personal opinion. As long as we're beneath the all-time high of the stock market, we are likely to create a lower high, meaning that I'm looking for a C corrective move at least to get beneath the A level, okay? That could happen in the next coming months. Now, of course, where are we going to get resistance if we broke through the 618? Paying close attention to this level of 4,330 points to see if we are going to consolidate at that level. But so far, we're having massive bullish momentum, lower inflation than expected, was bullish. We can see more bullishness on the stock market. So, hey, we're going to higher levels. Now, if we start consolidating or breaking structure, we could start becoming bearish. We need to go sideways or break the lower time frame structure, okay? Uptrend structure to start getting a little bit bearish. No signs of weakness just yet. We are going up, so we can look for higher levels. What is the next big major resistance zone? Well, I can already tell you it is right over here, okay, at the 7.8 Fibonacci. If we do get 7.8 Fibonacci right over here from the pivot high to the pivot low, we can see it is right over here at 4,520 points. What other level do we have there? We know that we have a lot of fake outs, a lot of swing failure patterns from these high levels, okay? So we got a pivot lower high here looking at the daily, as you can see. Let me just get a horizontal ray right there, exactly at the 7.8 Fibonacci. So we could test the 7.8 and we only about 80 points from that level as I'm doing this video, okay? So we're not too far off. The last 2 days, we pumped over 100 points. So we're very close to that level. Depending on the news today, we're probably going to get a pump and then reject from that level. I'm paying close attention here to this level of 4,520, 510 points, guys. It's the 7.8. We got a clear lower high pivot, all right? It's a perfect level to create that B point, all right? Obviously, the 618 would have been the ideal, but as long as we're beneath the all-time high, it can be the 7.8, it can be the 0.88. As long as it's a lower high, okay, we are likely to have that corrective move. Of course, that B wave can get all the way to the all-time high. It's a possibility, create that kind of double top, just like Bitcoin did back in 2021. But overall, I still think that we could get some resistance here. We do not want to fight the trend. We want to see a sign of weakness. So far, no sign of weakness. So you want to get into those scalp day trades, all right, on the corrective moves with the S&P 500, no doubt. So this is what I do think. But not only that, if I do see this as an ABC wave, okay, inside of the B wave, all right, we need to have those 3 waves, all right? We have smaller waves inside, of course. If I do take a look at the Fibonacci extension, all right, from the pivot low, okay, if I do see this as 5 waves down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we can see the pivot low right there to this pivot high, to this pivot low being the ABC, okay, right over here. The 1-to-1 extension, guys, guess where the 1-to-1 extension is? It is just slightly beneath that 7.8 Fibonacci and this lower high pivot, okay, as you can see. So it would make sense to create that 1-to-1, meaning that this wave over here is the same length, okay, as this one right over here that we are creating from this higher low, okay. So that is very much the projection that we're looking for at this moment, still continuing to the upside. This zone is where I do expect a reaction unless we do break structure before. Remember guys, Bybit, my #1 crypto trading platform, $30,000 worth of bonus can still be claimed. In the next couple of weeks, we do have the World Series of Trading, guys. I'm going to be a leader there. We were ranked 20 most of the competition out of 460 groups, guys. So make sure to join my squad in the next 1 to 2 weeks where I'll be announcing on the videos. Also, if you do not want to use Bybit because you don't want to do KYC, you have Bitflex and Mexi, okay, as options where you do have an incredible bonus also down below with the sign up. Now let's go right away with the Bitcoin price, guys. We want to know what's happening with Bitcoin. What's happening with Bitcoin, because we did have a massive fake out, okay? Some people in the community did manage to get into a short position here. Some other ones got into a late position short, but we had that news, we had that volatility, so we were very much aware, guys, in the Legends trading community in Discord. So right over here, what we do see is a breakdown, okay, from this ascending wedge scenario. It is very sad to not see the correlation to the upside with the stock market. Stock market absolutely ripping and Bitcoin not really doing much, okay? So it's very sad to the upside not to see that, and it's just going sideways. If the stock market does crash, I do believe so that Bitcoin will follow. Unfortunately, we will have the correlation to the downside, but not to the upside, unfortunately, guys, but it is what it is. So basically, massive failed breakout. We did get some people, you know, getting into some day trades and some scalps. We did have a failed breakout on the first attempt before the news. Some people in the Legend community managed to get into a nice little short scalp before getting the next failed breakout right over here from the higher lows of this ascending wedge scenario. And what happened here is we had the breakdown, okay, hours after the inflation data. So we've broken down, we got resistance exactly from this higher low support trend line from the wedge. So back testing the level here perfectly. I know some people got into a short position here yesterday, managed to make some little quick gains, be defensive. Then we had another leg up to test that highly respected level of support turning into resistance. So what is going on right now? Well, supposedly if we have broken the structure to the downside and we are getting resistance, we should getting that momentum to the downside. However, what we are seeing here is ascending channel kind of structure. So it looks like that this breakdown hasn't been very, very powerful. A sign of strength here for me would be breaking the highs that have been created, okay, today. As you can see, it is exactly at the $26,000 range. A massive big break through that level with high volume will be a sign of strength, meaning that we could go and test yesterday's highs. Now, yesterday's highs is going to be very important. If we do manage to break through that level, of course, we're looking for higher. However, it could fail to break out from previous day highs, which is this one with the news volatility. If we were to have a massive break here to the upside and have that continuation, I am looking here for a failed breakout potentially, and then a start corrective move to the downside, or a successful breakup, okay, in continuation. Now, only if the price of Bitcoin manages to have a massive breakout here, well above 26,100 range, then of course that will be a clear sign of bullishness. I'm going to be extremely cautious though with what kind of price action we create, because if the price action moves above the 26,100 to hit 26,200 range with very low volume, there could be a big resistance zone here, meaning that we're forming a Gartley pattern from the pivot high to the pivot low. All right, very important, that $26,260. There is a possibility here of that Gartley pattern formation in the next coming hours, if that breakout is going to be very soft and choppy with price action. Okay, guys, this is something that I will be looking at with the Legends trading community, the potential trading scenarios, guys. Feel free to join. There is where I put my daily updates, the potential setups that could happen during the day, guys. The link is down below in the description if you wish to join, okay? So far it is failing to break out from this resistance zone, but we are creating higher lows. So we're just waiting for the next possible price action to happen here to see the next opportunity. There's a daily level here that got heavily respected, but not only this daily level getting respected, we did have the 618 fib level from the pivot low of the range to that pivot high. You can see hitting a daily level and the 618 getting that massive bounce here nicely. So what I am expecting here, of course, is a possibility in going to the lows. As we see, the impulsive moves are to the downside here. Looking at the structure, we got movement down, corrective move here going sideways and slightly to the upside, massive impulsive move to the downside, corrective move here, as you can see, very, very choppy. So we could expect that price action to the downside. However, I am in no swing short positions. I am not shorting, okay, looking for the lows. I'm level trading here because I do know that there is a possibility that this downtrend could have finished, guys. If we do see this as an ABC corrective move like this, there is a possibility that we've reached the end already, because if you do count the waves, there is a possibility that those waves have finished and we could see a reversal in the next coming days. So we're just aware of that, okay? Not betting the farm here, no swing trades to the downside, only scalping and day trading, longs and shorts, okay, with the Legends trading community till we see a clear direction of a breakout of the trend. Now, if you want to know my levels where the Bitcoin price needs to be bearish or bullish, of course, I would be extremely cautious if we do break the lows here from June at 25,350, because we do have a lot of support. We got the lower lows that have been heavily respected here for the last few weeks, as you can see. And also, if we were to get that breakdown, we have the naked point of control at 24,800 range, where it's from this consolidation, we have a large spike in the point of control with volume, okay, from that zone. So it's a level that I'm paying attention. Depending on how we hit that level, we could get a huge, massive bounce, okay? Something that I'm paying attention here also with the Legends trading community. What would be a bullish confirmation to go to much higher levels? Well, for me personally, would be getting above the lower high resistance trend line and above this huge, massive level, which is a daily at 27,200 range, which are these lower highs right over there. If we were to get that breakout, we'll be likely forming a massive Adam and Eve double bottom. What Adam and Eve double bottom? Well, if you do see here, right over here, the price action, we had this major resistance zone exactly at $27,200. If we get a box from that zone, as you can see, we had a massive move down here, being the Adam, the bottom, and then here we are forming the Eve, where we could have that run up. Breaking above the 27,200, 300 with a nice explosive move of the volume will be a huge bullish sign. And that means that the price action could go all the way up to the $29,100, which would be that projected move from this huge double bottom that we could be forming. So far, we are in bearish structure. So far, we are in a downtrend. So this is just a projection. Only if we were to have that successful breakout from this level coming up to the zone, all right, I would be looking for some long positions only if we break out with volume and looking for that retracement, guys. Just a potential trade that could happen in the next coming days. So far, we are bearish, still in bearish structure, no signs of massive strength. We've broken out from this descending wedge. We are getting resistance. Now, there is ways to be trading this, guys, okay? Now, meaning that we have broken out from the support of this ascending wedge, there is ways to day trade this without getting wrecked, protecting position and taking profit. And that is basically, for example, when you do hit this daily level, you're hitting the 618 from the pivot low to the pivot high. You enter a trade, you're taking profit at resistance, right? This is a small little day trade. You're pumping a couple of $100 to make some quick gains. So basically, you're doing level to level trading inside of this zone, guys. Not much to be said, guys. Feel free to join the Legends trading community because I'm posting every single day the scenarios, the setups, okay? Search for scalping, for day trading, okay, guys? Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.